LATAFFA might just be the most popular fragrance brand in the entire world right now. It seems like every single day on social media, somebody is talking about LATAFFA fragrances. But that can also make it almost impossible to know which LATAFFA fragrances are actually worth all the hype and which ones are just getting pushed by TikTokers looking to make some commission. Well, I have spent over $1,000 on LATAFFA fragrances, so you don't have to. And in this video, I'm going to be going over all 19 of my LATAFFAs to figure out which ones are worth your money. Basically, the goal of this video is for you to never need to watch another LATAFFA related video ever again. And finally, I'll be building the ultimate 5-bottle fragrance collection, which covers every single occasion using only LATAFFA fragrances. Let's go. Up first is a pretty damn new LATAFFA release, and it is already blowing up the internet, and that is LATAFFA's The Kingdom. If you couldn't already tell by the bottle design, this is a dupe of Le Male Elixir by Jean-Paul Gaultier. And look, I've never claimed to have the most sophisticated nose in the world, but side by side, genuinely, I can't smell a difference between these two. Like, on paper, on a tester strip, it doesn't matter. Like, maybe my nose is cooked, I can't tell a single difference. Le Male Elixir in this hand, LATAFFA The Kingdom in this hand, and like, I don't know what to tell you. LATAFFA The Kingdom is maybe slightly more minty and herbal, but it's the same shit. It's the same shit. The bottom line is, if you like the smell of Le Male Elixir but you don't have the money for it, buy this. If you're like me and think Le Male Elixir is way too sweet and headache inducing, you might want to skip this one. If you are looking for a fragrance that smells like Maison Margiela's By the Fireplace, but you want to spend a little bit less money, then LATAFFA, of course, has a fragrance for that. Of course, because they have a dupe of pretty much every single fragrance on the market. And this one is called Intense Oud. However, it is not a one-to-one dupe like LATAFFA The Kingdom is of Le Male Elixir. This is their own more masculine Middle Eastern take on By the Fireplace, and you know, if you got that basic white boy taste like I do, you're gonna much prefer the original. That's because this one is a lot sweeter and it just sticks to that kind of chestnutty, fun, more light-hearted vibe. This one is spicier, more oudy, more leathery, and it's even stronger. Like, I'm sure this fragrance gets compliments. I'm sure there's some people watching this that will absolutely love this, but it's not me. It's not me. A nice fragrance. I respect that they kind of did a twist on it. They didn't just copy it one for one, but I don't think I'm ever gonna wear this. Ever. LATAFFA Khamrah and LATAFFA Khamrah Qahwa. How do you please someone tell me how to pronounce that. These two are arguably the most viral Angel Share inspired by fragrances. But what's funny is that these really don't smell that similar to Angel Share. I mean, it's obvious by the bottle that it's inspired by Angel Share, but again, they put their own little twist on it. And in fact, the twist on this that they did was so good and popular that other fragrance brands are duping the smell of LATAFFA Khamrah instead of the real Angel Share. All jokes aside, even though it wasn't really a joke, these two are both 10 out of 10s amazing fragrances. Spoiler, they actually no, they might not be the best. They might not. Khamrah is what I wear for like date nights, special occasions when I just really want to stand out. I want everybody to smell me and I'm just feeling super shallow and I want compliments. Whereas the Qahwa version is kind of more what I wear for myself. It has a unique dark roasted coffee, slightly spicier, less sweet, and the projection I find is still strong, but it's not out of this world strong like the original Khamrah. Both excellent fragrances, both probably blind buy safe. This one, if you know you like dark roasted coffee, I would say is a safe blind buy. And this one, if you just enjoy the Angel Share style of DNA, but you want to mix it up, or you're just broke as fuck, then this one is blind buy safe. Up next is LATAFFA's inspiration of one of my favorite fragrances ever, and they did a pretty damn good job. This is LATAFFA Eternal Oud, and although I'm not a huge fan of this bottle, it is a great smelling fragrance, and it gets pretty close to the real MFK Grand Soir. And you know, I recently watched an interview where Mason Francis Kirkajan, the actual perfumer for that brand, he was interviewed and he said he hates dupes. He thinks they take away from the original perfume of the fragrance. So now I'm feeling kind of guilty talking about this. But let's be for real, guys, the profit margins on these niche and designer fragrances are out of control. It probably cost them $5 per bottle to make it, and they're selling it for $300 plus. So that's another issue in and of itself. But all rants aside, this is great. Lasts a long time, projects really well. The dry down isn't quite as, dense, high quality, vanilla ambery smelling, but it's a good effort. For like $50, it's a really good effort from LATAFFA. A LATAFFA fragrance that I own, but will never wear again, is this one right here. Velvet Oud. I don't know what they're going for. It kind of reminds me of a Tom Ford ombre leather, Tom Ford Tuscan leather, that type of vibe. I don't know exactly which one it's inspired by, but it's definitely a leather heavy fragrance because, oh my goodness, this literally smells like you picked up a brand new car, jumped in and just started sniffing those new car seats in a totally non-weird way. But it's fucking weird if you do that. But like, we all would do it. So we're all weird together. Perhaps the most underrated LATAFFA fragrance ever made, at least the most underrated on this list, is LATAFFA's Qiam Silver. And if no one else is going to hype this up, then fuck, I will, because this is such a nice citrusy, musky, and just sexy manly fragrance. Because if you guys haven't noticed, the industry trends is going towards gourmand, just extreme sweet and vanilla fragrances, and you know what, I love that because those are my favorite type of scents. Sometimes you just want to wake up and spray on a cologne that makes you smell like you just got out of the shower, even though you maybe haven't showered for a while. That is what this fragrance is. It's a dupe of Bulgari Tiger, and you know what, I'm not gonna lie, I have never smelled that fragrance before, but I can't imagine it's that much better than this one, because for $40, oh my goodness, is this a manly and just sexy clean fragrance. I love it. If you thought LATAFFA Khamrah was going to be the only angel share inspired fragrance that we're going to talk about, you would be freaking wrong, because we got Kismet Angel by Maison Alhambra.
This video is about LATAFFA. What do you mean Maison Alhambra? This video is about LATAFFA.
Maison Alhambra is owned by LATAFFA, and they are the same company. That little 14-year-old getting ready to type that message. All jokes aside, even though again it's not really joking, this gets the closest to angel share that I've smelled from any fragrance made by any brand. I mean, I'm talking 90% close, but the performance is so damn average that I don't see myself ever wearing this again. As you can tell, there was a stage where I just chugged through this, never get a compliment from it, never really got told by anyone, that I smelled good, which kind of sucks when you've gone through this much of a fragrance. Started asking around, anytime I wore this, I'd ask people, friends, family, like, can you smell me? Every time they would say they couldn't. So I kept upping the sprays and I kept getting the same answer. This lasts 4 hours on my skin with soft projection. I love a good performing fragrance. I love a good smell too, but I need them to be good smelling and good performing for me to rate it highly. And that's why this fragrance I can only give at most a 7.5 out of 10. Maison Alhambra Bright Peach. This is inspired by Tom Ford's Bitter Peach, yet another fragrance that I haven't smelled. So I'm a fake fragrance expert and content creator, apparently. Just as a standalone fragrance though, I really think this would impress a lot of people. It genuinely, to me, smells like those sour peach gummy bears you may have used to have as a kid. I mean, I was a pretty fat kid, so I used to have a lot of those. And this smells... I think a lot of people would argue that this is a not versatile fragrance, but I would just straight up disagree. I love the smell of peach. If you want a strong peach scent that actually is quite masculine because it almost has a dark, roasted, kind of boozy element to the fragrance, you would really enjoy this. A fragrance that nobody here would probably enjoy, and if you do, you're a psychopath, is LATAFFA Asad Zanzibar. This smells like you left out expired milk, squeezed in some coconut water, and then also let the coconut water expire with the already expired milk, and then decided to serve it to someone with a pinch of sea salt flakes sprinkled on top. And maybe also added like a burnt rubber tire note as well. I don't know if that's on Fragrantica, but it should be. For the last 3 minutes, I've been trying to work out how to talk about this fragrance. This is the actually good LATAFFA Asad. No Zanzibar, just the normal LATAFFA Asad, and I swear every time I smell it, I like this scent DNA more. I went from hating the smell of Sauvage Elixir, selling my bottle in fact around 2 years ago, I swear, every time I smell it, I do like it more. I don't know if that's me maturing or if that's my nose signaling that it needs to have a break from the amount of fragrances I sniff every single day, but this is good. This is a good fragrance. If you want a masculine, slightly more traditional barbershop type smelling fragrance with that insane performance of Sauvage Elixir, but for a cheaper price, LATAFFA Asad is solid. And it also seems like they've added kind of like a more vanillic type of feel. Vanillic, by the way, is just a nerdy way of saying it smells more vanilla-y. It's good. This is a good fragrance. Up next, we have got Maison Alhambra Porto Neroli. As you can see, this has been not used by me, but actually sampled on my decant store, because apparently people want to try this and I have no idea why. It smells like an expired soap bar that you'd find at like a really mid hotel. I'm talking 2-star, maybe even a 1-star hotel would have a soap bar that smells like this fragrance. Bad stuff. Bad. LATAFFA Qaed El Fursan. This fragrance is excellent, especially if you want a really strong pineapple note. You would love this stuff because I just get straight pineapple citrusiness with a little bit of leather. And by that description, you might be thinking, so does it smell like Creed Aventus? A tiny bit, yes. To me, it's a more tropical, kind of more unisex, more tropical, but still a masculine fragrance. There's just the pineapple note is just so juicy. It just smells like a freshly squeezed pineapple. Like those pineapple juices you might find at kind of like the juice aisle in a supermarket. That is what this fragrance is. Really underrated performance too. I mean, I get 7 hours longevity, but this is a heavy projector. I mean, I've done 4 sprays into this stuff and like people will be smelling you. They'll be looking at you like, hey buddy, you may have gone a bit crazy on the cologne today. Is it your first time getting one? And then you go, no, I own about 35 and have an addiction. And they say, okay. The most unique fragrance on this list, the most unique smelling fragrance on this list is LATAFFA Vintage Radio. But it is also probably the most feminine smelling, and that is why I don't actually really wear this fragrance. When I first smelt it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the craziest thing I've ever smelled, because I had never smelled Initio Paragon, which is what this is duping. So I had no kind of expectation of what this fragrance was going to smell like. And I just got a blast of that fruity plum with that powdery vanilla. And I was like, this could be the best fragrance ever. I need to go get the real Initio Paragon right now. I wore it a couple more times and then came to the realization that, hey, look, Finn, this isn't your style of fragrance. This is what your girlfriend should be wearing. And she's going to smell so good. You're going to want to do weird stuff. But this is not the fragrance for you, and I've accepted that now. But any girls watching, don't know if they do, if any girls are watching, this is the fragrance you should be wearing. Anyone that has been watching this channel for a while knows I love this fragrance I'm about to show you. Like, I glaze this stuff like no tomorrow, but it's for a good reason. LATAFFA Honor and Glory. School of Scent, you know, Omar, the guy that runs the YouTube channel School of Scent, talked about this pretty much every second video, and I was convinced he was getting paid off by LATAFFA until I bought it and tried it for myself, and I realized, damn, this dude was not lying. This is a sexy and addictive smelling fragrance. I mean, it's a tropical gourmand, which are two things that rarely ever go together well, but LATAFFA have done it perfectly. You've got pineapple, coconut, a creme brulee note, which is like a baked custard dessert, and a vanilla note. It is delicious. You may be thinking, when the hell could I ever wear a fragrance like that? My brain, whenever I smell this, instantly goes to like summer night parties. So take with that what you will. I'm just thinking going out in Fiji, in Cuba, in Havana, those type of vibes, you know? YSLY by Yves Saint Laurent is one of the best fresh, manly, and sexy fragrances available right now. But it is also pretty expensive, even on discounters. So that's why LATAFFA have come out with this fragrance, and the pronunciation can get a little bit sketchy. Fakhar, LATAFFA Fakhar. See, I don't want to say fucker because that sounds creepy. This still retains that soapy masculine vibe, but what they've done, in my opinion, they did it on purpose. They've made this appeal more to kind of like the 16 to 18-year-old crowd. It's a bit sweeter. It's a lot fruitier. I much prefer the original YSLY DNA. I don't know why they went with the more sweet route. I think YSLY in and of itself is a beautifully blended fragrance already, but I respect the risk they took. This one is just not for me. But I also do think it is definitely blind buy safe. And if you do want to smell like YSLY EDP for cheaper, this is the best on the market. 2 more LATAFFA fragrances left, and this next one is by Maison Alhambra. It's called The Tux, and this is a dupe of YSL Tuxedo. A fragrance, again, I have never smelled. I'm literally the biggest fake fragrance connoisseur ever, but if you want an earthy, spicy, really unique, manly vanilla fragrance, this could be the love of your life, honestly. This might just be born and ready for you to use. This could have been formulated just for you. Not blind buy safe in the slightest. This one really took me off guard when I smelled it. In fact, I didn't like it when I first tried it about 6 months ago, but now I can tolerate it, you know? It's an interesting fragrance. It also has a kind of like suede, leathery, really just classy vibe, but that earthiness, some people are going to despise it. It kind of smells like moss or grass or dirt to me. It's weird. It's a weird one. Oh, it's so interesting. This is like the one I'm going to pull out like once a month when I'm in a strange fragrance mood, but it is not for everyday use. The final LATAFFA fragrance that I got is gonna get an award, a gold medal, a golden star for the most excessive and over-the-top fragrance packaging of all time, and that is LATAFFA His Confessions. I will say, this fragrance will make a great thumbnail one day, and in fact, it may even be the thumbnail of this video, but I personally hate the bottle. Imagine trying to travel with this thing. Like, this is quite a unique smelling fragrance though, I will say. It doesn't really remind me exactly of anything in particular. Like, it's giving me a little bit Dior Homme Intense vibes with that powdery iris, but it is a lot sweeter than Dior Homme Intense. I think the closest thing I can think of is Valentino Uomo Intense, but even that, I do think smells better than this. This to me just doesn't really have a place in my collection. It's a nice lipsticky vanilla, bit masculine, but honestly, a girl could wear this too. If you like the bottle, you like iris, you like vanilla, this may be worth it to you, but for me, I would say it's a more regretted LATAFFA purchase. For all the people that have stayed through the video thus far, I'm about to put you on game because I'm going to build you the ultimate 5-bottle collection with just LATAFFA fragrances. And this is going to cover you for special occasions, for school, for work, the winter, the summer, and for partying. For special occasions, guys, just trust me on this and go for either Khamrah or Qahwa. Like I said, if you like the smell of coffee, if you drink coffee in the morning, if you're just a coffee person, because some people are, some people aren't, I'm a coffee person, then get this fragrance. If the thought of just smelling more sweet, sexy, and just wealthy appeals to you, then get the original LATAFFA Khamrah. Both of these fragrances honestly just smell elevated and classy and sophisticated. I feel like these two scents will just elevate any type of outfit that you put on, but especially if you're already quite dressed up, maybe you're wearing a suit and a tie or more kind of like a black fancier outfit. For something like a prom, a date night, these fragrances will pair with that so perfectly. With the original LATAFFA Khamrah, I would go with 4 to 5 sprays because it's pretty damn strong and it lasts about 10 hours. With the Qahwa version, you can get away with doing 5 to 7 sprays, as I find it's got more soft to moderate projection. Next up, for school, work, the office, you need a safe fragrance, but still one that could get you noticed and could get you compliments. If you got like a work crush, or maybe you want to impress your manager, Qaed El Silver, Qiam Silver, I always get that name confused, is the perfect choice for that occasion. It's a musky, grapefruit, citrusy fragrance with honestly above average performance for how fresh and kind of citrusy it is. But this stuff is so versatile, you can use this literally any day of the year, but I do think it works best as kind of like a university type of scent. It still smells quite grown up and mature. I think if you're in high school, you may not really find this one appealing, but for kind of my slightly older guys watching, maybe 20 years old and above, you might love this stuff. In the office and at school, I would go with 4 to 5 sprays, but actually if you're going to wear this one outside and you just want to be noticed, you can go upwards of 7 to 8 sprays because it's so fresh. If I could just choose one LATAFFA fragrance to use in the winter, I would actually go for Bright Peach. Like I mentioned, this might be too unique smelling for some people to want to use every single day, but if you're like me and you really love sweet and heavy fragrances and you just really like the note of peach, this fragrance is so good when it gets cold outside. Personally, I go between 4 and 6 sprays. It's a strong fragrance, don't get me wrong, but I do like to get noticed, and especially when you're wearing something as unique and kind of special as I think this fragrance is, it's nice to be smelled by other people. In terms of a LATAFFA fragrance to wear every single day in the summertime, Qaed El Fursan is the no-brainer pick for me. I love the smell of pineapple. If you want a tropical, woody, but overall masculine type of fragrance, this one is for you. And if you guys know about the Creed Aventus DNA, it gets so many compliments, and the fact that this fragrance kind of follows it about 60% of the way there, but then has its own tropical twist, you can probably imagine that this one is definitely a people pleaser. And finally, for partying and going out, it's another no-brainer. It's got to be Honor and Glory. This is one of the most unique fragrances I have ever smelled. I think the sweet gourmand and just super loud projection is really going to help you when you're maybe outside, say like an outdoor music festival. There's, you know, different smells everywhere, there's people everywhere, and you still want your fragrance to get attention. Something like this would definitely cut through basically everything else going on. In case I haven't told you already, this is not blind buy safe at all. I've had a lot of people complain to me for recommending this one. Please try it before you buy it, even though it's really cheap. That's gonna wrap this video up on going through all 19 of my LATAFFA fragrances and letting you know which one I think is best. I hope you guys loved the video. Let me know your favorite LATAFFA fragrance down below in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.